Hello and welcome back, guys, to Home-Based Business Review. I'm your host, Carl Douglas. I got to tell you something. Every time I interview this particular gentleman, you know what? He's my mentor. And what I mean by mentor, you give your mentor respect. And this particular gentleman right here, he is definitely somebody that you need to be sitting down with a pad and pencil, because a lot of information he brings to us, it costs money, it costs time, it costs effort, it costs energy. But without delay, today our subject line will be very important. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this, okay? Why is it important to make a first impression and leave a lasting impression? But I got to tell you, I brought an expert. His name is Dr. Stan Harris, minister, 10-degree black belt, breakthrough coach, author, and master mentor. You have him right here. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that subject line. Doctor, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. It's a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure to be with you and your incredible audience. And again, thank you again, Carl, for what you're doing to make a difference in the world, to make a difference in this industry, and to impact and encourage and empower people. And so I appreciate you, man.
Well, you know, it's an honor. Even hear you say that, honoring me, and I appreciate you.
Well, it's my pleasure, man. I just got to tell the truth. Come on now.
Bring it on. Bring it on. We're ready.
That's my first impression is you're the brother like no other. You the master disaster. Can't say it no faster. Too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit as God in your wife's power. Come on now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's right.
Yes, sir. So why is it important to make a first impression and a lasting impression? Because, well, obviously, you know, first impression is what sticks. And so if you don't make a good first impression, then you're going to have to really pour it on trying to offset the negative that was there first, right? So it's almost like somebody said, like, if you put the peanut butter on the bread, the jelly will just slip right off. When you make a first good impression, that's like putting the peanut butter down, right? And everything else will slip off, so you want to slide. But if you make a bad impression first, then all this good stuff just kind of slides, and you got to really build. But it's not even really. I like to change the narrative a little bit. It's not really about the first impression. I believe it's good to be who you are and let your character and integrity come through. And again, and obviously, you know, the very first meeting, very first mention is important. But I think sometimes people get so over infused with trying to make a good first impression that now they have to try to work on having a good last impression. Where if you have the true character and intention, it just comes out. You just are who you are, and people don't pick up on that. And by the way, let me say this: my brokenness has proved to be a better bridge for people than my pretend wholeness ever was. Oh, let me say that again. I don't think they got that. I said my brokenness. Now, being authentic, just being my brokenness, not having to try to make an impression, but just being authentically who I am. And so sometimes my brokenness has proven to be a better bridge for people than my pretend wholeness ever was. Sometimes when people trying to make a great first impression, they're pretending, they're putting on something that, guess what? They can't continue it. So the character is the most important thing. And when you have that character, then yes, now make sure we do some things that's making sure it's a great first impression. But really, the first impression and the last impression are going to be one and the same if you have intentional, and you have character. And I'm a spontaneous guy, but because of my beautiful wife, Nadia, my ABCD, my adorable brown caramel delight. And by the way, Carl, I always say that I'm the kite and she's the string, right? Yes. And she's always saying, baby, just breathe, just relax, just right. But what I'm saying though is, and she always says this word to me. She'll always say, baby, keep it kingdom. Keep it kingdom. It's always about the kingdom. It's not about you, it's about the kingdom, right? Now, I don't mind that so much, but when a guy cuts me off, right, I'm like, she's like, just keep it kingdom, baby. I'm like, okay. So yes, so the first impression, but if we have the character and we're really working on that, the greatest book I've written says a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. So I say to people, if you have to choose, you lose, right? And he's like, do I want the money or do I have to get, no. When you get to that place, you got to choose, you already lost. But people that make sure they maintain that good name, if they lose riches, the riches come back, right? But people that say, well, I'll give up my good name to get those riches, you lose that good name, it's gone. So yes, make a first impression. Great to have a lasting impression, but it's best to have that in character and integrity. And like I said, I'm spontaneous, but my wife's always telling me about being strategic. So I'm spontaneously strategic. How's that?
Yes. Most people understand what you just said, I'm sure. But when you're in a room, let's say you have to work room, we're coming out of this COVID and all these things that's going on. We're getting back into the meeting rooms. And sometimes we're in the meeting room without masks, things like that, which is great. Sure. But even if you had a mask, that's fine. But you're still making an impression in the beginning. People go by what they feel, right, which makes them feel comfortable. Yes, if you can make a person feel comfortable, that's the impression that's going to last even after you leave them.
Right. And not only comfortable, making them feel like what was it? Mary Kay. Yeah, Mary Kay, which, by the way, just not a couple miles down the road is that big $1 billion building, right? Her empire that she built, but the huge building down there. And so anybody that says they don't believe in network marketing is like that, just drive by that huge, gigantic building and you're like, wow. But she said, treat everybody as if they got a sign around their neck saying, treat me like I'm somebody, like I'm important.
Yes, now, there you go.
So I think that's what you're talking about. And so, but again, that still speaks of the character. If you have that as your character, you see what I'm saying?
Yourself. Yes.
Exactly. So that you say, since I know who I am and I'm a person of value. See, I don't respect or disrespect somebody because of them. I respect people because of me, who I am. And if you're a respectful person, it's natural to give respect, right? And so watch this. And so, yeah, so, I mean, there's different things that have been taught as far as like mirroring people and like, you know, to make a good impression with folks is, hey, you know, find out about them, make them the topic. Don't just have it all be about you, right? And so, you know, what is it? People's favorite radio stations, WIIFM, what's in it for me? But I say a marketer's favorite radio station has to be WIIFT, what's in it for them.
Yes.
Right. And so I have to speak to you, right, about what's in it for you. If I speak to you about what's in it for you, guess what? You have a great impression of me. But if all I'm doing is telling you, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I've done this and I've done that. But if I don't stop and say, hey, Carl, share with me a little bit about yourself. Tell me about your dreams. Tell me about your goals. And if while you're speaking, if I will actually give you eye contact, and while you're talking, everyone's go, ooh, wow.
He cares.
But here's the thing, though. But some people teach that. But you have to be that. You can't just, well, I read this in a book. I saw this in a video. I got to do this to make the guy feel. See, that's still not being all the way authentic. But now it will help you, and you can start like martial arts. We went to practice. I wasn't that good, but I kept practicing until it became second
nature. Yes.
Right. So sometimes you may have to. And some people say fake it. No. I say faith it till you make it. Ooh, come on, somebody. So here's what happens. Most people, they try to underpromise so they can overdeliver, right? So because bad people have overpromised and underdelivered. So good people try to underpromise so they can overdeliver. But the breakthrough method, Dr. Breakthrough says, I promise big and deliver bigger.
There you go.
So here's what you can do to make a good impression on people. Like I said, first of all, was it Stephen Covey said, first seek to understand before being understood, right? Zig said, help enough people get what they want, you get everything you want, right? So what is it that I find out what is it that I have that could be of assistance to you, that could help you, that can empower you, that can further what you're doing? If I do that with sincerity, then you're going to say, man, I like that Dr. Breakthrough guy. Well, of course. But here's the thing. But if Dr. Breakthrough likes you 99 times out of 100, you're going to like me. Are you with me? So when I started getting to the place where it didn't matter who that person was, because I'm who I am, I'm going to show them respect and love and compassion and so forth. Then guess what? I started finding out all these people are like me. But really what was happening is, I'm going to tell a quick story about my mom. And it's almost like this. One time my mom, she said to me, she said, son, I'm just honored to know a man of your stature. I was like, come on, Mom, what are you talking? She said, no, a couple places that I'd spoken, and she traveled with me. And at the time I was a college professor also. And she's like, no, you travel all over the world speaking. She's like, I can't even believe like my son's doing this. She's like, I'm just honored to know a man of your stature. And here's what I said to her. I said, Mom, you're just reaping the harvest that you sowed. She's like, what do you mean? Well, when I was a little boy, we got in a lot. Dad left when I was 3, never came home, never called. And my brothers, we kind of just, single parent home. And so I was about to get kicked out of school. Mom put me in Catholic school to try to reform me. That didn't work. I got kicked out of it. 2 guys jumped me. I beat up on them, but the nuns didn't see them getting me. The nuns saw me hitting them, right? So I get kicked out of school. I come home. My mom's, she's like, she just got enough work. And she's like, she worked all night. And then she's like, what do you do? Why are you here? And I was like, I get kicked out of school. She's like, oh my goodness. And she at first she was upset. She's like, boy, I'm doing everything I can for you kids. And I don't have a man to help me. She's like, you about to drive me to an early grave. And then she stopped. And she said, but you know what? One day you're going to make me proud of you. Carl, it's like something like poof, like I was like, whoa. And guess what? When she said that, I received that. So every word is a seed. So what I told her, I said, Mom, you planted that seed and now it's harvest and you're getting back. Because when she said that, I said in my mind, I'm going to make my mom proud of me. And I never got in trouble a day in school again. Ended up going to college, postgraduate professor and doing all these things. But again, it's because she planted those seeds. And so sometimes if you will plant good seeds in other people, and you'll bring forth a harvest, and they'll be talking about, oh man, I really like that guy, right? Why? Because you made a great first impression, but you're going to make a great lasting impression as well because you came from an authentic place, right? So let me stop talking, let you talk, bro.
I love it. Anytime you mention the word mommy or mom, it makes me think about my mother.
Come on now.
And I'm going to tell you something. It's a good feeling.
Yes, sir.
That's a good feeling. And I want to express something. You have to basically be the person you are to make those impressions. They're going to feel you. And after you finish talking with them, it's not what you said they're going to remember. They may not even remember your name. Sometimes they do. It's a shock technique. I always say that you use certain good, kind words. They'll remember that. But once you actually leave the conversation and move down the room, here's something I would say, and I'm sure you practice this as well. People will.
Excuse me.
They will contact you sometime before you do. They may go back and revisit you when you're in the room because they see you. They want more of what you left with them. Okay. So here's what I want to ask you. Once you get finished with the person, you share information. Okay.
And by the way, always find something kind you can say about people. My mentor, Bill Bailey, I don't know if I told the story before, but he had a company grossing $64 million a month.
Okay.
Way back in the 70s, no email, no fax machine, nothing. And I said, Mr. Bailey, when I found out about him, I took every course I could. I bought everything.
Yes.
And so one of our coaching sessions, I said, Mr. Bailey, what in the world did you do to make $64 million a month back in the 70s?
Okay.
He said, young Dr. Breakthrough, you're asking me the wrong question. Now, my ego could have popped up in there, right? But I was like, I said, excuse me, sir. I apologize. What's the question I should have asked you?
Okay.
See, I'm not going to let ego get in. Ego, EGO, edging growth out. Ego, edging God out. Ego, edging. No. I said, what's the question I should have asked? His answer changed me forever. He said, you should have asked me how many people's lives I added value to that resulted in $64 million a month. He said, if you master bringing value to the marketplace, you can't help but eventually receive value back from the marketplace. And then he said this, you're a spiritual man. I know you're a minister. He said, what did the great master do? I said, well, the book of Acts, it said he went about doing good. He said, I'm just no hillbilly. Can I put that in hillbilly terms? I said, sure. He said, that means everywhere Jesus went, everybody he met, he made a difference in their life. He encouraged them some way. So it's like, if you go to the grocery store, that person should have a smile on their face or have something because of what you did or said to help lighten their day. Without the words, you know what he was saying is what you're saying. This is why you should make a great first impression and a lasting impression, right? That's what he's saying. And so when I started doing that, it changed ever. And so one of the things you can always do is, so I've done it so much, I don't even realize it. Like when you introduced me, and I think I said something like, hey, Carl, well, I appreciate you and blah, blah. I didn't on purpose say, let me say something nice about Carl. I've ingrained, it's me, it's who I am now, right? That I do that. And then, Carl, real quick, when people give you compliments, the way you make a great first impression is you accept it graciously and then share some with them.
There it is. There it is. Yes, there it is.
But it's crazy. I used to always turn stuff down. Oh, no, because people's like, man, you got so much energy. Man, you're so exciting. I was like, well, people were trying to be kind to me, and I was turning it down under the guise of being humble. But then people that would criticize me, I would internalize it. And so it was like, I'd get down and I was like, I don't understand, God, why is, he's like, well, you took the bad stuff from people, but I tried to give you good stuff through people and you didn't accept that. So here's one of the things you can do to accept compliments. So if you said to me, okay, Dr. Breakthrough is a very knowledgeable man. Let's say you said something like that. I would say, Carl, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And by the way, Carl, I've got a nice saying. Can I tell you one of my sayings?
Please.
I like to say, if you can spot it, Carl, it's because you got it. So see, you got to be a knowledgeable man to be able to recognize that I'm a knowledgeable man. So we both are knowledgeable men. You see how that works?
Yes.
So I accepted it. I didn't make you feel bad for trying to say something nice to me. At the same token, I made you feel even better because I recognized that, right? Now, and then one last thing is, now you don't have to come up with fancy, like I love words. One guy said, man, you are a wordician. That's what you are. So, but I love words. So like someone else say, like, when I meet people, hey, this is Dr. So-and-so. Hey, this is Dr. So-and-so. And I was like, well, hey, how you doing? And so I have this thing that I say that makes a lasting impression. Matter of fact, I have people to the day that will call my cell phone and sometimes I answer, no, I didn't want you to answer. Hang up. I'm going to call back. I told this person, if they just listen to your voice message, it's going to change their whole day. So people say, like, how you doing? I'm like, man, I appreciate that. I'm like you. I'm too blessed to be depressed. I'm too blessed to be stressed. I'm too glad to be sad, right? I got something like that. Or sometimes I'll say, hey, business is booming. Checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, just like you.
Love it. Love it. I want to change Brit. This came from a person who was interested in knowing, okay, I understand the first impression and I understand the last impression. Now let's talk about the follow-up. Let's spend about 3 minutes of talking about why it's important to do a follow-up when you meet somebody and how soon should you do a follow-up?
Well, I always say to people, you foul out if you don't follow up. And the fortune is in the follow-up. But again, here we got to go back to the integrity and the character. And just being authentic. So if you really are concerned about people, you can't help but follow up. Now, I found out the sooner the better because all of us have busy schedules. And the longer I wait about now I'm the kind of guy, I'll say stuff like this. If you're waiting for me, you're already late. Right?
Okay.
I do stuff right away. Why? And people think, oh, that's because this guy is really, no, it's because I got so much going on that if I don't do it right now, it may get cluttered and mixed in. So one of the things I do is I make a breakthrough power list where I list the top things I need to get done, right? And having people, by the way, I've got a guy, oh man, what's his name? Tom Chenault, a home-based business show I've been on. But Tom has a thing, not mind mapping, but this thing he has, and it helps you track the people you meet and you get to set up so that even when you reconnect, you can say, talking about leaving a lasting impression, you can, like what you talked about the last time. And so he has all this in a piece of software that helps that. Now that's a little too, kind of for me, but it's great and it worked great for people. But I like being spontaneous. But yeah, the sooner you follow up, the better. And so if we just met and I say we're at a networking party and I say, man, Carl, and you got a show, you interviewed different people, man, you're doing great. You know what, man, that's Saturday now. Next week, my schedule will be a little, how about like Tuesday or Wednesday? Let's find a time maybe we'll get together, maybe at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, check your schedule, let's see, right? If you set that up while you're meeting with them, right, you got a lot better chance then of following through. And that's what makes the lasting impression, right? When they say, this guy that wasn't just good when I met him, he's doing something that other people normally don't do.
It's a proof. It's a proof they're looking for. You qualify now for more of their time as well as them qualify more of your time.
Wow. I didn't even think about it like that. You back to the bone, Carl. Come on.
And you make them feel important. It has a lot to do with it. It's credibility at the same time. And all that is this is what's happening during the follow-up. And they're going to be more likely to take you more seriously when you do that. So your stock just went up.
Right. Yes. Most definitely.
So before, go ahead.
Like last night, I took my hot wife on a hot date. And so I told the lady waitress, I said, she told us her name. I said, oh, okay. I said, by the way, meet my ABCD. She's like, ABCD, yeah, that stands for adorable, brown, caramel delight. And the waitress, she laughed and everything. So by the time we left her, I mean, do you think my wife and I, do you think we had made an impression on her? Of course. Yes. And by the way, we left an extra good tip. That's a lasting impression.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I want to make sure. I wish we had more time. I want to make sure that we leave a last impression here.
Okay.
So I want you to go ahead and talk directly to those people. Understand the ABC real quick of what they should do. What they should always understand they need to do when they're on the phone or when they're meeting the person for those impressions and those lasting impressions. It's all yours. 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So again, if you're prospecting someone on the phone, one of the things is ask them, hey, what area of the country are you in? Okay. Do you like that? Have you been there long? So a few questions that don't, not to be like nosy questions, but a little bit of a probe, like that says, hey, I'm interested in you. Right. And so connecting with people, and people say, well, look, I have this or I have that. Oh, really? Well, how long have you been doing that? Is that a life passion of yours, or is that something that, but people really like it when you do things like that. So go ahead and take the initiative. And by the way, I know it's kind of scary sometimes meeting new people, but I got a secret. Are you ready? They're just as scared as you are. So the one that talks first wins, right? And it's the one that smiles the biggest.
Like martial arts, same thing with martial arts. The first one that throws a punch, right?
I call it attack or be invaded. We got to talk about that sometime because people don't understand that. So you're either going to attack, by the way, even what we're talking about now, you're going to attack with a great first impression and a lasting impression, or you're going to be invaded with a shoddy appearance and someone that gets easily forgotten. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's the case. You have it in you. You, my friend, can make that great first impression and lasting impression by authentically being who you are as you continue to grow and get better. And that's what people pick up on you. See, people say this about me all the time. So, man, there's something about you, like the last time I met you, but like now, like you're even more, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know I know what it is. It means I've increased my capacity. I've stretched myself a little more. I put on Facebook the other day, if you think you know me based on a year ago, let me reintroduce myself because my growth game is so strong. And when you're growing, you're excited, you're exuberant, there's extra energy that flows from you, and people will pick up on that across the room.
Yes.
You can do it because you got
it. Dr. Stan Harris, I got to tell you, man, these lucky souls that are watching this right now, I'm sure they're going to be taking notes, and actually at the same time they're going to be replying. So can we please bring you back?
Man, I'd be delighted to, but I got to throw one more on them, and that is this.
Okay.
The reason this, first of all, the reason this is happening is because I believe people in your audience had faith that they would learn some things that they needed to go to the next level. So what you're afraid of, you attract your reality. What you have faith in, you will be attracted to it. And so you had some belief that you were going to do that. Carl obviously had that. He started the show, and you were attracted to this, my friend. So part of what I'm saying and part of who I am and part of what's happening is because of you and your secret desires, my friend, that God is helping to bring to fruition. So give yourself a pat on the back.
I will definitely do that. And you know what? You got to love yourself.
Yes.
Number one, you people are going to feel that you love who you are, and they're going to be attracted to that as well.
In my book, Your Breakthrough, How to Build a Big Team Fast, where I chronicle about building a team from personally sponsoring 898 people that blossomed in 6.5 years to over 1.5 million people. I talk about how when I didn't like me, nobody else seemed to like me. When I started loving me, people started being attracted to me. I couldn't figure out what it is. And then I figured out, like you said, it's not your words, it's your music. And although you can say the right things, but if you don't really believe that, if that's not really part of your essence. And when I met my beautiful wife, that's what I said to her. I said, now you got the incredible beauty. And like I said to the waitress the other day, because she said, "Oh, your wife is so beautiful. I see why you talk about her like that." I said, "Listen, you ain't seen the half. She's 10 times more beautiful on the inside than she's the outside." And that's true. That's the truth. But I'm saying, folks, you have got to understand this whole thing about your essence. And so when I met her, I told her, I said, it was something about your essence that empowered me to be even more than I thought possible. That, my friend, is power.
Beautiful. And he just brought something up that I wanted to leave us with today. Pick your spouse wisely. Okay? Because they are not just your right arm, but they could be your eyes and your ears. Stan Harris.
Hey, the next time we're going to talk about one of these times. A good marriage, by the way, is 2 deaths and 1 resurrection. Ooh.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Well, marriage is not 50-50, it's 100-100.
That's right. Alrighty. That's right. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna bring you back, and okay. we're gonna set the appointment, and we're gonna make this happen, because I believe that your guidance with my show, we're helping souls.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let's say goodbye for now. See you guys until next time. Thanks, Dr. Stan Harris.
Peace, breakthrough, and divine increase.